New month. You know, last month we talked about principle a lot. We talked about the thing itself and what it does and how it works and how to use it, and the law. You know, the way that divine creative process out pictures and manifestation. But that's really lots and lots of heady stuff. You know, we were in our heads a lot last month, and it's good stuff. We need to know how it works, don't we? In order to work the principles consciously. We've been out picturing our predominant thoughts our whole lives. Now we're just understanding the process, and we're getting to do it on a conscious level. But this month is the heart month, isn't it? It's the month of love. Welcome to February, where you'll see hearts and flowers all over wherever you go, right? So the theme for February is the heart of humanity. Of course it is. And so we're going to explore that this month. We're going to explore just what that means, the heart of humanity. And you know, usually when I do my intro in welcome at the beginning of service, I'll give you a quote from Ernest Holmes that gives you some definition of what this faith tradition that we practice is about. He defined it in so many ways, and I always pick one of those descriptors for you and say it in the beginning. But you know, I started thinking about it. Those quotes from Ernest Holmes about what this faith tradition is all about come from the 20s and the 30s and the 40s and the 50s. And so I thought for a change, I would give you a quote from one of the contemporary leaders in Centers for Spiritual Living. And our current community spiritual leader is Dr. Ken Gordon. And he said this is the way he defines Centers for Spiritual Living. Center for Spiritual Living's purpose is to awaken humanity to its spiritual magnificence. Its vision is to help bring into being a world that works for everyone. And its mission is to do this by providing spiritual tools for individual and global transformation. That's its vision and mission, Center's vision and mission. And I think here at Vision, we are in alignment with that. Wouldn't you say so? I think we are absolutely in alignment with that. Our vision is we envision a world that works for everyone. A mission statement, we provide spiritual tools for transformational purposes. So I think we're absolutely in alignment with both of those things. I think that's what we do here at Vision. We are creating a space that blesses all. Do you agree with that? Yes. Thank you. Okay. We have shifted away from the old paradigm. We have left that old paradigm behind of winners and losers, you know, how like the world's supposed to work, winners and losers. We have moved away from that. We've left that in our dust. And we are here creating a world that blesses all. We are practicing and being all-win situations. We are creating all-win situations because we believe that there is no limit on good, that there is enough good to go around, that the good is God and God is infinite. So there is enough good to go around. We have shifted away from that old paradigm, you know, that limited pie mentality. There's only so much pie, and when the pie's gone, there's no more pie, you know. We've shifted away from that limited pie mentality. Who came up with that analogy anyway? People came up with that analogy. God didn't come up with that analogy. People came up with the idea of a limited pie. We bake a pie, we eat a pie. What do? We finish the pie, we bake another pie. That's what we do. God, I sound like Seinfeld. Excuse me. Make another pie. Goodness gracious. The limitation is in our minds. It's not in the mind of God. So, of course, we bake another pie. There is enough to go around. There is enough good to go around. There is enough blessing for everyone. For me, that is the heart of humanity, to know there is good for all. There is no limit to good. We can love all. We can bless all. We can be that healing, loving, compassionate, forgiving energy that the world is calling for. And we heal our part of the world by being that, by showing up and being that loving energy, that healing energy. excuse me, that is what the heart of humanity is all about. Karen Armstrong said this. She said, Jesus Christ did not spend a great deal of time discoursing about the Trinity or about original sin or about incarnation, which have preoccupied Christians in later years. He went around loving people, any people, the disenfranchised and the broken, the rich and the poor, the righteous and the unrighteous, doing good and being compassionate. That's all. He didn't discourse about any of those things. I love that. He didn't go around talking about the Trinity or incarnation or original sin or anything. He also did not talk about homosexuality or abortion. There you go. Didn't talk about any of that stuff. Talked about loving and doing good works. That's it. Loving, forgiving, and doing good works. That's what we are about. That is what we are about. That's who we are. That's the heart of humanity. And I think that's what going around with a full heart means. That we are filled. And it is love that fills our heart. And it's love that we demonstrate. And it's love that we embody and embrace and see when we look out on the world. And that's the healing energy that we bring to the world. You know, when we break down the walls that we have built around our hearts, then we let the love out. You know, and those walls were there from previous hurts and grievances and disappointments and unmet expectations. And when we break through that stuff, we let the love out. It's not about letting the love in, it's about letting it out. And once we break down those barriers to love that we built ourselves because of our past, then we get to be these loving beings through the world. And the love is limitless. We just generate more and more and more. You know, when we get hurt, when we get disappointed, when people betray us and let us down, and we close off that part of ourselves, we're doing a disservice to ourselves and to the world. Because it is up to us to live the full, complete life. It is up to us to live that fully self-actualized life. And that means being open and receptive and open and giving. And you can't be if you are closing off to experiences in life. We cannot experience all the good that life has to offer if we've closed down parts of ourselves to have that experience. Because why? Because 5 years ago, somebody dumped us. Or because 10 years ago, someone said a thoughtless, cruel thing. Or because 25 years ago, our parents didn't live up to the role of parent that we thought that they should. We all have pasts. We all have backgrounds. And they're all experiences. And when we wall off those parts and we don't allow ourselves to live freely and live fully, we stop living in those little areas. We stop living in those little areas. We keep ourselves separate and apart. We have to stay open. We have to stay open. You know, I love that expression, you know, like dance like nobody's watching and love like you've never been hurt and all that is true. All of that is true. We must stay full and open-hearted to experience the fullness that life has to offer. Ernest Holmes said this. He said, if we make ourselves receptive to the idea of love, we become lovable. To the degree that we embody love, we are love. This is why people who love are loved. It does not pay to hate. Hate is a human idea. It's lovely. That is lovely. Because that really is the truth of who we are. And when we stop seeing each other as different or other, then we can love them. You know, we get to love each other when we stop reducing people to that one unskilled behavior that we remember of them. You know, like the guy from Staten Island. I know he was in the newspapers. It was all over the news. I know that congressman from Staten Island who told the guy he was going to throw him off the balcony. The effing balcony. Anyway, Now, here's a 10-second soundbite. I bet you he's quite a lovely man. I'm sure he has many good qualities, but we see a 10-second soundbite of one man's most unskilled behavior, and that's who he becomes to us, right? That's the only thing we know about him. And no, it's not true that that's a standard Staten Island farewell. I was born and raised there. It really isn't how we say goodbye. Oh, well. But you see what I'm saying? It's when we reduce people to that one thing that hurt us, or that one thoughtful act that betrayed us, we are doing a disservice to humanity. When we reduce people to one moment in time, and we condemn people because of that, we are bearing false witness. That's what that commandment really is all about. We are a beautiful people, and we are facets. We are multifaceted gems, each and every one of us. And when we only see one facet and we reduce people to just that one facet, we are bearing false witness against them. That 30-second soundbite is not who that man is. That one unskilled behavior of the person who hurt you is not who they are. We are all of that and when we close off our hearts to those people and places and events, we're doing ourselves a disservice. We keep ourselves from living that full and open life. A full heart loves like it's never been hurt. A full heart takes chances even though it's been hurt. A full heart is never closed because of something from the past. Excuse me. Ernest Holmes in Richer Living said this. He said, "There is no fear in love, and there is no liberation from fear without love. Fear is based on the supposition that we are unprotected, rejected, and friendless. If the fearful mind would entertain love and the harmony and the peace that goes with it must turn from everything which denies love, and trusting in divine guidance, open its being to the influx of love. Not just love of God, but love of everything. For love is all inclusive." I love that. We have to turn away from everything that doesn't look like love. We have to keep affirming for love, even if the situation doesn't look like love, even if it hasn't manifested as love yet. Love everything. Can we imagine loving everything? Ernest Holmes in the Science of Mind textbook said, about practicing this faith tradition, he said, the first thing to do is to love everyone. If you haven't done that, begin to do so immediately. Just like that. I love that. I love that. Begin to do so immediately. The only thing that's stopping us is us. What stops us from loving all of humanity? Our own thoughts. It's just our own thoughts. What's inside of our head, the story we've told ourselves over and over again. People can't be trusted. People are no good. People are mean or greedy or blah. The whole story in our head, the whole litany, you know what it is. It's just the thoughts in our head that keep us separate and apart, keep us from being unloving in the world. It's only our thoughts, and thoughts can be changed. It's only our thoughts, and they're the only one, you're the only one having your thoughts in your head. Nobody else is having thoughts in your head. Nobody else is living in there but you. You're the only one. It's like those old horror films, the call, it's coming from inside the house. It really literally is coming from inside the house. You're in charge of your own thoughts, nobody else. So you can change them. Loving everything, loving everything. This means we go on. We go on from those past hurts. This means we release them. This means we practice forgiveness. Yes, I said it, the F word. We practice forgiveness. Oh, my God. Breathe. Come on. Are you breathing with me? Okay. No, somebody's not. Forgiveness. Oh, man. Even when we know we're right and they're wrong, we can practice forgiveness. Even when we don't know why we were hurt, we can practice forgiveness. Even when we're wrong and we just won't admit it, we can practice forgiveness. Forgiveness is the gift we give ourselves, remember. Forgiveness is the gift we give ourselves. It frees us from behaviors of the past. That's what forgiveness is about. It's not about letting anybody off the hook. It's not condoning anybody's unskilled behavior. It is simply releasing ourselves, freeing ourselves from someone's past behavior. It is a gift we give ourselves because this way we are no longer trapped in the past. Because if we're thinking and holding people to their unskilled behavior, if we're holding people to a past event, if we're holding them guilty for a betrayal, guess what? We're back there with them. If we don't allow them to move on, we can't move on. If we've held them in jail for their past behavior, we are the warden. We're holding the key. And so we're stuck back there with them. Forgiveness is a gift we give ourselves because it releases us from the past. And that is a huge part of living the fullness of life in the present. In order to live with a full heart, in order to live in the present moment, we have to release all of the past junk. We have left our energy probably scattered over decades. If you're thinking of what happened in the past and it still brings up anger and it brings up hurt and it brings up self-righteousness, call your energy back over the years. Call your energy, free your energy from all of those decades and bring yourself fully present. And that is a full heart too. That's part of it. Getting over our hurts, forgiving others their unskilled behaviors, and freeing ourselves from the past. When we free ourselves, we can live fully in the present. And when we live fully and freely in the present, we're living that sense of a full heart. Remember when you were just as happy as you could possibly be? And you just didn't think you could be any happier than that? I mean, recall a time in your mind where you could just, you're just as happy as you could possibly be, and you didn't think you could get any happier. Man, you thought your heart would burst because it is so filled with love and joy, and you didn't think you could get any happier. Just recall a time like that in your mind. You've got it? That's a full heart. Think of those moments in time. We've all had them. When we were living the fullness of life. I know for me, it was when they handed me my newborn. I didn't think I could love anything as much as when they handed me my newborn baby. I was just filled with love. And then it's really interesting when you decide to have another child, there's almost a fear. There is almost a little fear. Oh my God, can I love the second child as much? And then you come to that truth, to that realization that love really is limitless. Love really is limitless. Oh my God. And I thought I couldn't love anything as much as that baby, and then there's another baby, and I didn't think I could love anything as much as that baby. And that is living from the fullness of love. That is being full-hearted love. Where you're just going to burst at the seams. When you fall in love, right? That honeymoon stage. When you look in that person's eyes and there's just, everything goes away, right? Space and time just goes away and there's nothing else but you and your beloved. That's living full-hearted. That's living full-hearted, and I know we've all had those experiences. It's practicing living from that point all the time. It's practicing living full-hearted in all the moments of our days. How do we do that? How do we live from that full-heartedness? Because that's what I'm talking about. When we break down the walls that separate, when we break down those illusions of separation, because that's what they are, they're just illusions. We are love. God is love and we are that. There is nothing else. And it's beautiful. And when we release ourselves from the past, and when we break those walls down that have kept us separate and apart and in judgment and in condemnation, when we break all that down, all that there is love. How wonderful for us when we break down those barriers we built and we allow ourselves to live free. And we demonstrate God's love in everything we do. This is bliss. You know, they always said about follow your bliss. This is it. You found it. It's living full-hearted, holding nothing against anyone, seeing each and every person as the magnificent, multifaceted gem that they are, knowing that they are not just one behavior, but they are all of the qualities of God, regardless of what kind of behavior they exhibit. Knowing the truth for each and every person that you come across, that's living the full-hearted life. Knowing the best about anybody in any circumstance. This is how we're meant to live. Ernest Holmes said this. He said, "Love alone shall discover the heart of God is at the heart of humanity. Love alone shall reveal the self to the self and find enthroned in the high citadel of the secret place of God in our own heart that beneficence which embraces the whole world. When love's activity is no longer confined to the littleness that restricts, but extends to everything and everyone, then shall we hear its song sung throughout the circuits of our lives." That's what this month is about. It's about starting us on that path of unconditional love for all of life, for all of humanity, for every living thing, for the entire world. Are you with me? Yes. Thank you so much.
Okay, this song is called One Heart, I think originally done by J.D. Martin. So hope you enjoy. There's a new church on the horizon, made of light, not of stone, calling out to all creation, you are not alone. Lions and lambs, saints and sinners, best of friends and enemies, woman and man, losers and winners, they're all in you and me. 'Cause we are one heart, we're looking for answers, we are one soul, finding our way through the dark. One dream we share together, we are all a part of one heart. Yes, we are. Out in the cold, there are faces hidden by the wind and rain. Hold out your hand, someone will take it and bring you home again. 'Cause we are one heart, we're looking for answers, we are one soul, we're finding our way through the dark. One dream we share together, we are all a part of one heart. Around the world tonight, oh, the fires are burning, tears are falling from the sky. Stay soul. One dream we share together. We are all apart. Oh, we are one heart. We're looking for answers. We are one soul. We're finding our way through the dark.